Mulowooza tuli basiru basajja mmwe, tuli basiru bantu mmwe. Chairman w'Electoral Commission byakola tubiriyo. We are seeing pictures, photos of Bobi Wine sleeping on the roadside. If you call me advisor to Museveni, I can go get me your neck and kill you. Why do you keep this man to sleep on the roadside? Because you are stupid. I lost the appetite for working for government. Maybe another government. Amawulire the other day was arraigned before court. A passenger, and he arraigned a passenger because of the mistakes of a rider. If you people, you are just joking. May I have no other solution to kill you? Yes! You humiliate me? Me no. One kills the other.
Yenze Kanka Kapita, yenze producer wa TM9 television. Atera nze gw'owulira eno kuba nze presenter. Mbaagaliza ebiseera by'ennaku enkulu ebirungi tutandise okubibaagaliza. Nsimbudde butereevu. Ayagala okulanga naffe twakugamba mu festive time eno obubaka obwongo obuwulira jangu gwe munna business tukulangire nga tusinzira ku online. Ennamba z'amasimu nzibateerangako buli kaseera nsaba muzeeyambe. Mpeereza obubaka obwa email obubanga oliwa business ayagala okugiyisa ku email n'ekirala. Kyesitalo musajja common man abeereyo Kamuli. Musajja ono yatuwa ekigambo ekyo mujjenga mukigoberera paka 2021 agamba atya there will be nothing to declare and nothing to hide. 2021 wayinza obutabaawo kyakulangirira ate wayinza obutabaawo kyakukweka. Ntandise program y'olunaku olwaleero.
In 1980 I wrote about it that constituencies were gerrymandered. But
gerrymander is splitting a lot of
cutting constituencies where you have support. Then Adam has done it. Why? In 1980, Apache North, Apache East, Apache Central, Apache West. It has 4 constituencies, Apache. Today, if you ask how many constituencies are in Apache, why? Because there was no formula. Today, when the NRM came to power with the democracy, at that time, the NRM was burning. There was a volcano inside the NRM to ensure democratic governance. One of the 10 commandments. Now
they came with the 10 issues from the bush.
Yes. So they came out with a formula. Every 50,000 Ugandans are represented by an MOP. That one has been abandoned. Who creates constituencies?
The same gerrymandering you're talking about.
Commission would have a monopoly on creating constituencies. Why? But these people knew in order to deny the Electoral Commission this right of creating constituencies, they said even the Parliament can create constituencies. Because the Electoral Commission creates constituencies after the census. What if we shall not have a census? So this, when you look politically at the constituency level, you can find that some constituencies were gerrymandered. Yes. I'm not surprised. NRM has so many constituencies unopposed. Some of them are not unopposed. But the fact is that you divided the church into 2. If you create a church into 2, a mosque into 2, a mosque, do you expect a Catholic man to go through? You divide the church into 2. You divide the constituency where the NRM is predominant. Most of the supporters of NRM
are in the constituency. So you split it
into 2. Do you expect
the opposition? Of course, you have done it just to increase numbers in parliament.
17 MPs of UPC went unopposed. Why don't we see a man, a candidate from the opposition becoming an opposed. Why?
There are no
because what
opposition people that are not opposed.
Like Franka Tumwebaze, they buy off the opponents. In fact, there should be a law. And they don't know.
I need to understand, Mzee, how does that become a problem of the Abakam and the EC?
That there was a man, Dr. Lulume. Lulume is in Muganda. Lulume was an effort this man. He stood against a man who was working in the State House. He was in the PPU, the Presidential Press Unit. That man was called Ngabirano. So, the government, it seems, wanted to defeat Ngabirano. Because Ngabirano had contested with the Professor Mondo Kagonyera. And Mondo Kagonyera made a very humiliating statement. Said, Ngabirano says, he's close to the president because he works in the PPU, the Presidential Press Unit, which at one time headed, and I was bundled out in a humiliating man. And I lost the appetite for working for government. Maybe another government, but I will never work with this government.
You'd better say you lost the appetite for working for the NRM government.
When my mother was almost lynched because of supporting Museveni, when my salary was low, immediately I left.
They increased the salary. The salary.
They will never see me again. I will never work in this government again. I'm supporting Museveni deliberately. You cannot call me in a meeting involving government people. No, the way I was humiliated subjected me to a humiliating 6 months, half a year. This command who is the secretary, Kabushenga, respect yourself. Get out of a new vision. They have appointed a new man. Why should the hanger man fear to be hanged? What to tell the minimum? I can say, to be a farm. Katukubanga Kubin to Furuma. Katukuba Kubin to Furuma. The Katukuban to Furuma. I will go back to my home area and make a bricks. I will move naked in tatters, but I will never work. I will never accept a job in this government. The way I was treated. Having it delivered, committed work. That I go to president's office, I become an advisor to the president.
If this gentleman refuses to leave office,
this man who is he?
Butcher man.
Butcher man and become an advisor of the president. And then why did I go to school to university to get a master's degree? It's humiliating.
No, each of you serves a different purpose. The other one serves in the ghetto.
To the president, I would have told my children to expand that appointment because it reminds me humiliation. If you call me advisor to Museveni, I can go get me your neck and kill you. There is so money I'm getting. How much money? How should an advisor? How much money? Tell me how much money.
I don't know.
How much money I was getting. And the current people, Muroza to live a silver sajamwe, Mulinzikwe, Orozo into Kutujoga, to live a silver to me. That you can be humiliated and then you call us back ahead. Impossible. So I'm telling you that this man, somebody else done his work, did his work. The Electoral Commission chairperson, the commission did not create constituencies.
It was the power was left to the parliament.
Created by parliament and the movement co-constituted by Nankabiro. That's why there is a lot of gerrymandering. When I say
splitting districts for NRM benefit,
that Semani 100, Semani what, MPs have gone and opposed. Yes. It is we call it what? Masturbation. This is political masturbation.
Are you serious?
You are doing political masturbation. You are dividing your constituency.
You're pleasuring yourselves.
You are not. This is already.
So you are telling me, in order to increase their numbers, they split districts where they already have support.
Exactly.
And so no opposition can go there.
When you talk about the fact that are you different from your PC that made it impossible for these MPs to close, are you saying that we shall not have if we go for election, where these people, where the opposition are failing to sponsor candidates, are you telling us that they will not get, they will not get a single vote? If they get votes, then it embarrasses you. How can you say that a man like Kasaija cannot win, even at LC1?
Are you serious?
If his goats have voted.
Are you serious?
You see me, I'm critical. I've heard.
You have heard that on Kasaija every day.
Me, I'm a consultant. I have I got a business, but my money has spent two weeks without reaching my account. I want to know. I'm investigating. If you people, you are just joking on my account, may I have no other solution to kill you? Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Can't you negotiate extra terms?
My account, may I have no other solution? This is my money. I have the brain. I sold my property, and I hear these idiots touching on my money. You will see. Me, I'm not a criminal. I worked for you for 14 years, devotedly. Are you a horse? Are you a horse?
What do your horses do?
Are you a horse? For Museveni without money, like me. How much money do you give me? Touch my business money, I will kill you. No problem. Anybody who touches my money, tampering with my account, we shall see. Tuna Yes. Yeah, I don't beg. So
in 2 weeks' time, you receive nothing on your account?
Two. Electoral Commission chairperson. When the people hear that the chairman of the Electoral Commission has summoned opposition leaders for violating COVID-19 rules, people laugh. It is like saying that a judge in Uganda has nullified the elections for bribing, buying beer to voters. People laugh. Because this is common, except in this election. Museveni is going to win in this election. Why? He's using Buyekera tactics.
He's going to lose.
No, Museveni is going to
lose the election.
Very big margin. I'm telling you.
Unless he rigs the polls, according to opinion polls.
60 and 70. I'm telling you. And when I predict, look what this book of mine, I wrote it 5 years ago. Before elections, before nomination. Yes. I said Museveni was going to win. Even now, Museveni is going to win. Why? Museveni is underestimated by his enemies. Bobi Wine handlers are underestimating Museveni. The moment when you think that Museveni is panicking, this is when he is strong.
That is propaganda. We have seen this physically.
Do you see money in this election? Do you see money? Museveni floors accounts of the mafias who are financing Bobi Wine, and he ensured that foreigners don't send money through non-government organizations.
But that is not fair play. That's not fair play.
For the first time, I'm telling you, the voters from 1980 up to today, this election is going to be like a 1980. Unless you rig it at the top, you cannot win. So Museveni's opponents cannot defeat him because the voters are not going to be influenced by him.
Let me understand that, Mzee. Yes. Let me understand that. Yes. Museveni freezing the sources of his opposition. And for him, he has money. He's already an established Museveni politician.
You didn't know why the Dianas were stealing the money left, right, and center. These Dianas, do you know how Diana became a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health? They humiliated Kkwo, put him in prison, but I know. I wish I had come from people like Kkwo's families. You humiliate me? One who kills the other. That's so you are. They went to Kkwo, into a former permanent secretary of Health. They humiliate you, and you become a commissioner in the Ministry of Education. Men know. Me don't speak can hang me. I come from a brave and arrogant family. You cannot. Join the control. Talk back. You invite me, the former permanent secretary of Health. After malishing me, you put me, you poison me, and you call me at a function where Diana is in attendance. Let somebody do it. Call me where Tumwebazi is an attendance and his colleagues. Museveni will be. He was inciting me to kill Tumwebazi. How can me work in the president's office when Tumwebazi was a minister after humiliating me? Museveni was encouraging me to commit murder. I cannot do it. That's why I did it to go there. Me don't son. that you humiliate me. That's works in love. That is a Muganda woman. A Muganda woman, after slapping him and doing, after slapping and doing what? You settle the matter in the bed, matrimonial bed. That's not me. Mama tough man. That's why I fought with them. Nkabatera ngengoma. Nkabatera ngembaga. Nkabatera ngengoma. Nkabatera nga namunjoloba. Nkabatera nga mujaguzo. Nkabafuwa ng'omulere. Nkabatera nga ngengalabi.
Nakola kyawe botera buli kaseera. Humiliating you.
Nkabafuwa ng'omulere, nkabatera ng'amabanda. Ngempaka y'Omuganda, empaka y'Omuganda, omulere, obwesongozi, engoma, namunjoloba, emujaguzo, empunyi, nkabatera ng'embaga, bamafiya nkabatera ng'embaga, nkabatera kabafuwa ng'omulere, nkabatera ng'amabanda, nkabatera ng'engoma.
When are you stopping okubatera? Or you're still hitting hard on them?
People. These elderly men, I supported them. In fact, I've taken
how are you supporting the mafia?
I've decided. With the two people, Muganda will tell you that to step in urine and stepping in the real sea. Where do you step?
Of course, you rather step in the liquid than in the solid.
The group, which is headed by Wabo, is more dangerous. That's why when it comes to the four, the Baganda have a saying,
yes.
Crimes are not the same. To rape your mother, you rather rape your mother-in-law. That's what the Muganda said. A serious crime or serious crimes are not the same.
They are not equal.
They are punishable.
It depends on who is judging, because even if
when it comes to defilement and the rape, defilement means young. A rape means the woman you force
someone of a coming age.
Muganda tells us that when you are making a decision, find out. Instead of raping your own mother, you rather rape your mother-in-law. So in this case, when I'm confronted with the two, I sympathize with the old ones, but I cannot join.
But the old ones have a lot of skills of stealing.
Even the Baziba. The Baziba have a good proverb. You say, come near the boat. And I used to, when I was young, in P7,
you were a smuggler.
I was a smuggler. I was smuggling the goods.
I was told you used to smuggle stuff into the country.
I was a smuggler, a notorious smuggler in the primary 7. That's why when it comes to money, I have the money.
Where did you get the money to smuggle in primary 7? Yeah, you had the brain.
In fact, if I can tell you, I scored 230 marks during the primary P7. The first grade was always at 210. I scored 230. It was at that time, because education was universal. Even the village schools could get first grade, and there was no reason why. I did not remember any time when we were taught to cheat exams. So exams would arrive at a police station, sealed, became vumbo. My first time to
I remember that word.
The exams used to arrive a day before and be kept by the police because the police at that time was credible. That's why we have a colonial law. A policeman is not can't be a liar. But today, can you keep examination papers with the police?
Yeah, that they keep them there.
No.
Mzee, I wanted to ask you, why were the ballot papers kept in guard by the counter-terrorism unit?
Yes.
I hear counter-terrorism. Is it a situation of terrorists in the country?
I was telling you a story that a woman, when I was in primary 5 or 6, introduced the literacy campaign. Were deployed to go and educate the old people to learn how to write, to learn how to read and write. The assignment was reserved for primary 6 and 7. But because I was highly intelligent, I could do anything. I was in the school choir at primary 3.
Yes. Doing music and doing everything. What haven't you done since you are young?
My brain. I have a very... Once me, I can attend a press conference without a paper, a pen and a paper. You ask my colleagues. Ask people when I was still a journalist. Mirundi could go to a press conference without a newspaper, without a paper, a book and a pen. But I could go back and reproduce whatever I was saying. Even if a press conference takes an hour, Mirundi can go to a rally without a newspaper, without a notebook and a pen, and I just listen. When I go back, I write whatever was happened. God gave me a very sharp memory.
Can you sincerely quote a direct speech? After listening,
even the figures. When you say journalist,
that's so special.
When you say journalist asking for a press release, is a journalist. Press release is not.
He wants to copy from what.
So I was telling you that I was picked, although I was in either P4 or P5, to participate in teaching the elderly. I mean, introduced the literacy campaign, and I remember in the P7 it came as a question: which ministry was responsible for the literacy campaign? Because it was done not by Ministry of Education, but the Ministry of Culture. And we had,
so
when we talk about
a special thing that was reserved for P6 and P7, they gave it to you at P4.
Community centers. We used to have community centers during the Robert's time.
What happened
where
in these
people
days?
could go and run. You are talking about NADs, you are talking about what? These agriculture officials could come to the villages. I mean, Ubata constructed these community centers. In every district there was a community, in every town. I remember every 24th of a month, we used to have a film sponsored by the Ministry of Information. A film. We used to go to Kalisa and watch these films. Educative, advertisement, and what? And there was a film unit in the Ministry of Information. You're here today, Nabakova. It's just
Minister of National Guidance.
Kakati nkugamba nti the story how I survived. There was a girl, a younger girl, beautiful girl, came to teach us because he directed all of the students from TTCs to come and participate. Their role was to teach us, and then we teach the elderly. I saw the same exercise in 1980 in Ortega's country, Nicaragua. What had done in 75 was done in Nicaragua. That's why has a big following here. I'm telling you.
Yes. So people still remember him.
Yes. So this younger girl, this woman, was not M1. I think she was doing her second year in a year training college. She came to teach us.
She was an intern.
You see, for me, I'm very humble when it comes to women. Because I liked my mother very much. I love my mother very much. So I have a soft spot on women, on the women. Ask Nacho. Ask this.
But you are
the former PS.
You are too hard. You are too hard on. You are too hard on M.i.S.O. You are always too hard on her.
I've forgiven in M.i.S.O. Yes, I've forgiven.
Just the last program we were hitting hard on him, on her.
Why? You listen to the tape I've recorded. I have now a different view about Mwenda. Mwenda says the way I've punished him is Sala. You listen. The person who there were three people, the schemers, Tumwebaze, Wabogo, Nakalema. These are the people who fought to me. Because Wabogo wanted to replace me with his colleagues, Don, which is okay. Literally, you forgot. Wabogo will never rule this country, I'm telling you. I can predict things. when I predict 10 singers, I'm not singing Waboga as president of Uganda. Maybe he will get one of his farmers, Nataka Bendera Uganda, Nigeria, Nigeria, Republic of Uganda, Nataka Mukazuenga fascinate. They were Kakati the two, I'm considering the two. You listen to the recorded detail. Kakati Nkugam, the Oyumulamu Wang, the girl came, told to me in the primary 5. After a course at the teacher, they have a university there. The Catholic University is way on Masakalo.
Uganda Matters University.
Yes.
I'm talking about Uganda Matters.
A TTC. The woman goes to Nairobi for secretarial duties. A course. Many of our people, our girls, who were well-to-do, their families took them to Nairobi. They were where there was a prestigious secretarial college. My brother, my elder brother, all left for Nairobi to do his university study. They met. When they met in Nairobi, one day when I had brought my smuggled goods to Shotera, they told me that your brother, your elder brother has come and wants to talk to you. I left my Magendo in Chotera. I went home to see my brother. Why? He used to bring me nice suits from primary. I was putting on a suit. That's why I don't separate from suits. I was brought like a Mulangira. Children used to fight over me to take me to school because my father had a bakery. That's why I'm arrogant. I grew up with the luxury. Yes. Very good. I was treated not be silly. When took a waka, Mulamu Wanginandaba, that woman noticed me. And he told my brother, I told you this boy, how do you call him? He said, no. He's my brother. What is he doing? Scored 230 marks. He refused to take up the vacancy in teacher training college. My father wanted me to be a teacher. Say he's now a smuggler. The smuggler is notorious. I was a notorious smuggler.
At P7.
I left
since P7.
and I was a notorious smuggler. Recently, I told this man, Kabonero, I was bringing, one of my companies were bringing in dry sales, Amanda. And Kabonero and Kenya went to the Chinese companies and they deposited there $1 million.
Are you telling me, Professor Kenya?
And they took a monopoly of dry sales. I went, it is illegal now. Uganda Revenue Authority cannot allow you to bring the Manda here because they have a monopoly. Mandela has a monopoly on the tires. Where do you have an economy running on
monopolies?
Where you have monopolies everywhere. You put is a monopoly, tires are a monopoly, milk is a monopoly. Because I
went to town someday and they told me some t-shirts are a monopoly to someone in town.
I went and told the Kabonero, you man, you have blocked me from bringing Manda. He said, okay. I enjoy a monopoly, pure monopoly here. Yes. But I can sell you at a low price. He said, no. You cannot be humble. I told the Kabonero after a month, your sale is high. We were even lenient with the international smuggler. We were even lenient to you, Uganda Revenue Authority, to give you even taxes. If you say that you have given the monopoly, you have created a poor monopolist, you cannot beat us on this. A man who started smuggling when I was in the P7. Can you think? Do you think that Kabonero, does Kabonero, you ask Kabonero.
Does Kabonero enjoy?
That's
a lot of sales.
Enjoy. Who enjoys a pure monopoly? Nobody is allowed. We are 20 companies, including mine. Nobody is allowed to bring Manda now. That's Kabonero. Kabonero's serious. I told Kabonero, I'm an international.
But you are able to watch this video. I don't know how you will survive in your business next year.
I told Kabonero, when you look at me in nice suits, you don't know that I'm a notorious smuggler. I told him, I will never come back to you. I'm not going to beg you, but I will bring. Now that we are not considered as by Uganda Revenue Authority as businessmen, let us teach you and the Uganda Revenue Authority. A lesson to remember. Never forget. They ask Kaboni, does he control the dry sales business in Uganda? If he does, he got a monopoly, and they are here. The dry sellers are here, but because I went to Kaboni, ask Kaboni. This man, I will find him. I think he's the owner of a casino. I went to him and told him, Kaboni, you have grabbed my business, but I can assure you, I'm a notorious smuggler. I started smuggling on Lake Tanzania when I was in P6. You cannot beat me. Kaboni said, in this game. You are doing a lot to the president and the government. Let me reduce the price for you. I said, no. It's again a monopoly. Let us teach the government and other stakeholders that you cannot enjoy, you cannot create poor monopolism in an economy like ours. So, when I went there home, the woman recognized me and said, that boy is intelligent, highly intelligent. Told my dear brother, ensure that he goes back to school. I would have been dead by now. Most of the smugglers contracted HIV and they died. They had the money. And they had the money. Kakati nze, brother wange na sala amagezi. My brother, that's why I respect you. That brother of mine. When he want Mirundi to be influenced, my mother. This one knows my character. My elder brother knows my character. Even Ham knows my character. Ham cannot tell me, say that, for inside the Mukutu. It does not, because he knows my character. Many people who know my character, Mirundi cannot be directed. I hereby direct Mirundi will do the opposite. Ask my mother. I could fetch water and fill a tank without being directed. Directing Mirundi will refuse. That's how I was brought up. I don't know. This is the key. Is that a character? Mirundi, is it an inborn kind of thing? Anybody telling me to campaign for the president? Am I the highest paid man? Do you know how regularly do I meet the president? I don't know. I was getting 600,000 in the State House. But I knew people were getting 10 million, 30 million. When you are talking about appointing me an advisor, can Museveni mention my salary? It's shameful. That's why a term did and allow a retirement benefit. It cannot be. But because Mirundi is a man, once I believe in something, I don't believe in it. Do you think Museveni connived with those guys to fight you? Gundi, my father, my elder brother, you wouldn't be seeing me now. Brother angeche yakola. Yagula mukwano gwange bamuyitanga Dig mu biru nabba amagendo gange nembula capital. The only person who could provide me with the capital was my elder brother who had decided that I go to school. That's why I would have died as a smuggler. Hey, I'm an arrogant man because I'm not seeing money for the first time. We had the money when we were young. Except these young men who have just joined the government. Because I did not die from HIV, I developed a feeling that God wants me to do many things on earth. That's why when you apply to Mirundi, you see, I saw these people. Most of these younger boys were paupers. They were paupers. I had the money from school, from P7, from where I attached the money. That's why money is not a big problem to me. And I've been alive to see the changes in the government. This government has a problem. I have never seen a God who punishes his people for doing work. No. Obotes NASA, notorious NASA under Wakasis, could not kill a UPC. The fact that roadblocks, when you carried the UPC card, that was an assurance. Comrades. In a minute's time, the notorious Set Bureau could not kill an Amin's person, an Amin's supporter. No. But in this government, the mafia, the younger mafia, out of it. The Tumwebazes, the Kaheros, the Wakakamba, those people who intimidate people, into a pussy. These ones can attack as you see. This man in Castle, I fought for Castle. Look what you remember. I wrote here this one.
I'm not seeing the cover.
Yeah, the cover is this. I'll just sing the 12. Where I mentioned that the NRM party could not, that even if Museveni wanted not to have election, to have to order people lining up behind their candidates, I said that was a methodology. Lining up behind the candidates, voting by security ballot, these are methodologies. They don't change the attitude of the people.
Yes.
I said, in spite of lining behind the candidate, we shall have independence, which is coming. I predicted myself, don't joke with me. I'm a man who makes predictions and I see them coming. I said, challenges ahead facing NRA. I said, in 2009, while addressing a Kada course at Chankwan's Leadership Institute, President Museveni announced 7 directives that would govern NRM party primaries. He explained that he had been soft on independence because they defend themselves, saying primaries involve rigging. He issued the guidelines to govern the 2011 election in the party. However, since then, none of the directives has ever been implemented, and the challenge persists today. Museveni's directive. I say in this book that this directive of lining behind the candidates will not solve the matter. It was done in 1989 in Kenya. They used to call it what? When we wanted to reach out to the old guard and bring in the Rutos, the Mudavadis, there was another Kamba man, Mruya man. They used to call it what? When you introduce these practices, the Baganda call it the Kalamajongo way of voting.
What is Kalamajongo?
So, Musuluru. They have a name for Kenya when you introduced it in the 1980s. I was not seeing it the first time. The Baganda call it the Kalamajongo way. I don't know why. Because at that time, many Baganda, you know that Mutesa donated his salary to Kalamaja. And the slogan at that time was independence. Shall we wait Kalamaja to develop? And the Kalamoja had a year now, and we are talking about establishing a factory there. Kalamoja had the biggest beef factory in the East and Central and South Africa in the 50s. When Obata came to power,
what happened
at independence? The Kalamajongo told him, remove that machine that is finishing our cows. I wish Museveni was there. Museveni would have told them that this machine, because what you don't know, the Somali problem is not new. They kept a garrison there. In Kenya, they were called the Shifutas, who wanted to separate from Kenya to get independence against the Somalis. So the British maintained a large garrison in Karamoja. That's why they established a very big beef factory in Karamoja. When Obata came to power, the Kalamajongo elders told him, you remove the gift you should give us at independence. Remove this big factory in Moroto, which was making beef, because it is eating up our cows. Museveni would have told them that no, you rear more goats, more cows. And at that time we had a network, a real network. When the factory was closed by Obote, then the Kalamajongo cows started coming to stay Abat.
Yes. They did not have a slaughterhouse.
Yes. There was a time during the 80s when Kampala markets were dominated by sweet potatoes from Mutesho. What happened?
And that's what I'm asking. So during your times, all those things are just a myth. Yes. It's just history.
What amazes
what is here?
What bothers me? during your budget time, the Minister of Education could provide beef, fish, yellow maize, and every Wednesday, all government boarding schools would go to the ministry and get these supplies. Schools that had been recognized by the Ministry of Education would get a new brand new Tata. Where was Obuta getting this money? Where was Obuta getting this money that maintained the Ministry of Education? Where? What happened?
Of course, now we are asking ourselves, when even the first lady is in charge, we expected more appropriation and more strictness in holding funds.
In my book, I said that Museveni directed that, one, registration of NRM supporters in all the villages. Number two, make announcement for such registration in a time to enable every member of NRM to register. Number three, in order to have that information to reach everyone, Museveni suggested that local communication fora channels, including rural radios, Ejisingira, that reach audiences at grassroots, be used. Number four, NRM should not support NRM leaders should not support the candidates against other NRM contenders. Those leaders Museveni warned, who contravenes this directive would be punished. Number five, elections should be held in the most transparent manner. He's talking about the party primaries. A yellow book containing names of all registered members should be compiled and produced. Only registered members should participate in the party primaries. As mentioned earlier, all of the above directives were not implemented. The reason is that there exist formidable groups in NRM who are interested in maintaining the status quo. For example, no yellow book was produced. A committee was set up at the Secretariat to verify academic papers of NRM aspirants. They were required to pay 2 million each as verification fees by Tango Toy. This did not work since verification of academic papers is a mandate of UNEP. Some members, however, lost their money and were disqualified by UNEP later. Kakata we wali obuzibu bwa Museveni.
Yabasabe million 2.
Nabagamba
verifying empapula.
Tango Toyi
yabamane babagoba ate.
Era Tango Toyi is the man behind the surging of COVID-19. He is now silent like a cave. Tango Toyi has disappeared like a gonorrhea. Tango Toyi organized primaries for NRM. NRM was the first party to organize the primaries. What happened? The processionists. This chairman of the Electoral Commission is summoning these people, talking about procession. Who started them? NRM people violated the law, the COVID-19 law. They were seen, vividly seen. Yes.
But Muzei,
what happened?
Even these days, we have NRM people carrying out the same issue. The man in charge
of the Electoral Commission was silent as a cave, was silent, was sleeping as a corpse. He closed his eye on what was going on. Tango Toyi said, when Tango Toyi was asked by the journalists, they were asking him, what punishment is going to be meted out to these people who have violated the COVID-19? Because the law, before nominations were done, Parliament had passed a law, which I told you when you read my new book now about Bobi. So therefore, the mistake that was done was not to punish those who violated the law during the NRM
primaries.
And the Baganda have a proverb that it is the hereded bird, Enkulu, yeyigiriza ento okwonoona mu kisu. When you see a nest, is that why do they use
the mother?
The mother, they learn it from the mother. In Karl Marx is saying, if we want to instill discipline in the country, deal mercilessly with your people. This is why your people, you don't know that Captain Ziyamba, there were 4 powerful people, women at that time. Ziyamba, Muchala Njuba, Mukwaya, were 3 most powerful women. But at one time, in one incident, Zizinga's escorts killed a thief, a robber. They were arrested, the robbers were attacking. Do you know what happened? Museveni surrendered Zizinga to the law. Zizinga went to the gallows. She was acquitted of murder and her escorts by courts of law. This is why, at that time, where Museveni could surrender the violators of any law, this is why Museveni has maintained discipline in the army. Why? The moment you flout any military rule, you are referred to the military court martial. Museveni does not attend the court martial sessions. Tango the NRM violated. What about, are we all blind? I think the chairman of the Electoral Commission is a blind man. Doesn't he see people in yellow addressing rallies?
He sees them.
Yes.
The likes of Kasulu.
Yeah, no,
who attend mass rallies.
You will hear. You will hear. Kasulu has been accused, but you will hear that even the man who was killed, what type of people do we have? You kill an innocent man to implicate Kasulu into the matter to get him arrested because of the man whom I said. Haven't I been saying it? That whenever I see Kasulu in charge of this money, called what? Omuyonga something. I see him entering the prison. Kasulu, fete tusana, kwata kusente, fetulimbwa. A man must pay for my radio programs so that I go. Am I your slave?
Dombo.
That somebody must pay. Who are you? This is a mentality. If I have the brain to talk on the microphone and convince people, carrying money is important. Why no bujozi mumutu abalenza?
So you're telling me, Kasolo being in holding of Myoga money.
You wait. You will listen to the recorded detail. In fact, the DPPC, the DPP should be arrested. Why? Because when you listen, the DPP connived with the man, somebody called the M.I.S.O. You listen to the room. Kasolo was framed to get him arrested because of the money. Now, if Kasolo is the face of the
microphone
in the district, but the DPC and her accomplices don't mind about the political future. They don't know that Kasolo is tussling out with two opponents. The man who defected from NRM is buying for the chairperson of the district. Tumukundezi candidate is also standing. But because of the money, obujozi bwebalina mutwe kyejaba tukyayisa twaba kyawolwa obujozi nti omuntu ajje wange n'atwala 5 billion embwa ne bagijjawo ne bagitwala ewatali sente. Am I furniture to be moved from the sitting room to somewhere else? If a foolish woman accepts to be moved from the material room, then you will end up in the toilet. I cannot. You people, when you are humiliating us, you think our mothers don't feel the pain? My mother was almost lynched. Are you saying that my mother did not deliver? I'm a product of the sex act between Mirundi and his wife. Like you. My mother did not buy me from a carpenter. I was not bought from a supermarket like a doll. Why don't you respect the people? Why don't you respect us? Where did you go to school that we didn't go? Degree is a muyino balenzi mwe bajja baba batire wan ne bujoga ensi yonna ne butujoga fe twaba chawa. I cannot sit with these people, but I forgiven Narweso because of this step. And I'm reviewing Mwenda because he's talking, he says he's remorseful. His newspaper magazine, I didn't know that his magazine is no longer in the publication.
No, he does not publish it. He took it online.
This command of New Vision has been punished. Into Kulubya na eja kusasula. Kulubya will pay. Kakati nkugamba. Nega nti chairman wa Electoral Commission byakola tibiriyo. Toyinza kuyita abantu babiri. Amawulire the other day was arraigned before court. A passenger. Can he arraign a passenger because of the mistakes of a rider? Is that policeman? I will send him I've directed my children to get me a book that talks about managing elementary management of traffic rules. How can you take this man to court? The other day, the people you are calling to punish, the chairman of the electoral commission, we are seeing the pictures, photos of Bobi Wine sleeping on the roadside. And the argument is stupid. Why? If I'm going to Umbalala, and there is a candidate in Masaka, am I not going to be allowed to go through Masaka? Am I going to address a rally in Masaka? Is my dissertation in Masaka?
No.
If
I'm just going through.
And this man was going to through. But because they want Bobi Wine to go through the villages, the rural areas, the police is helping Bobi Wine. Why do you keep this man to sleep on the roadside? Because you are stupid. Bobi Wine is used as a mudongo. Where do musicians sleep? Ask them. That's why they love themselves. Musicians love
sleep around concerts.
Yes,
in their cars.
Why? Because they cannot afford decent accommodation. If they have no vehicles to drive back, they sleep in the open. They have a tent behind. Ask them. So when you subject it, you force Bobi Wine, like in Kiriandong. Bobi Wine is a victor. Why? Everybody sees that in spite of the support Bobi Wine has in those respective areas, he's not trying to overpower the policeman. Don't you know that this man is looking for sympathy? If Bobi Wine had decided, look what Museveni was detained at a roadblock in 1980, and he was rescued by Saleh and others from NASA. But they did not fight. Now, Bobi Wine is provoking you, and the stupid policemen and the female stupid people
are getting trapped.
Are getting trapped. What is important? I told you, from Baganda, my children watch television. When this small woman was preventing Bobi Wine from entering a hotel where he had earlier paid accommodation. Who are you? You are creating sympathy to this man. You see a group of policemen preventing this man from entering the town to go through. Escort him to go through. Force him to go through. Because he's provoking you into battle. Birigwa, when Birigwa contested with the Sebagala in the mayoral race, those younger Democrats tricked this man. They said they alleged, which was false accusation, that Wasabirigwa was a homo. Kakati what they used to do, Bajanga, Ababana Bayu YD, at a rally, a public rally, Kubanga at that time, we are addressing political rallies in what we call tatulegi. You come as a beauty contestant. Then you pick the papers. Are you number 1? Are you number 2? Are you number 3? So, Birigwa fell into the trap of these boys. The boy could come kneel before him and say, quietly. Birigwa used to slap with these people. And the voters say, what type of man is this? What type of candidate is this? Who slaps a man? Because that man
in public.
But Birigwa could not explain that these people abuse me. The way the trick they want to do on me. I'm an expert on propaganda. Let us ring him this morning. Your man rang me. I said, am I a minister of works to provide jobs for you? Why do you ring me in the morning? These are people who think that when I abuse them, then they can, that what type of man? No, I have get to marketing. I get your marketing myself as the man who can abuse you, who can slap you in the studio and go away with it. Even if I shout an opportunity, what? Who cares? So therefore, kakati mbagamba the chairman of the electoral commission yazaaluzinga. Toyinza kugamba nti omusajja gwe baasuzizza
ku luguudo mmotoka
oyita tukosoni
mpulira
yes tukisobola
wamusuziza ku luguudo ate n'omuyita omubonereze the other day ne bamusubiza ku luguudo kubanga nze ayino let me tell you many people misunderstand me many people think that I work for Bobi Wine I don't work for Bobi Wine me I'm sure 100% Museveni will defeat Bobi Wine with a big margin unless he rigs depending on what we have seen in mobilization.
Where will Bobi Wine get the boss? I'm telling you that Bobi Wine made a mistake by starting his campaign in his favorable areas. Two, Museveni has managed to cut off supply lines on his side because Bobi Wine was brought by the mafia,
which is of course a market trick.
This man, this younger man also has presidential ambitions. In many previous elections, would move with the sacks of money. This time Museveni locked him inside his house. Nobody is losing money. Museveni has frozen accounts of ministers. At one time, 4 ministers were under house arrest. They had to apologize. This is why, let me tell you, a poor election helps who? A poor election helps who? This is when the voters are going to regain their freedom. They have been losing to people. The MPs, the incumbent MPs thought that they would extend their term of office by 2 years. The incumbent MPs believed in the money. 80% have been saying it. Of people power candidates are financed by the mafias. They got the money. The selection was done in such a way. The mafias could provide you with at least 50%. Today, a man who was nominated, a woman who was nominated on a party card, what does he say? Does not have money today to buy off for the voters. Museveni has also locked the money because his son-in-law always during the elections would move with the sacks of money to show his face and create his own people in parliament. They had selected a number of people to give money to go to parliament. Why? It's this parliament that is going to audit the Auditor General is insulated by law. So the parliamentarians, that's why they're fighting Kadaga. Kadaga, because he has done it very well, any group of people, even newcomers, Kadaga will stand their speaker and will be voted their speaker. The alternative is to ensure that secondary loses. That when the secondary loses, then Museveni will appoint Kadaga as the vice. Kadaga cannot accept to be vice because a vice president is under the total control of the conmen, the mafias in the state house. The vice president does not have any control over money. That's why Nakalima, in the last election, was asked the consignment of T-shirts of the president and the vice president have come together. What one should we clear? Should we clear them? Nakalima said, no, clear those of the president after all is going to go. Bokede is hosting Sewamala, a notorious conman, that in a bid that he will defeat second. Let me summarize. Let me summarize on Lumumba. I was explaining that unlike other political parties, you are comrades. But even in this time of elections, the mafias are fighting Lumumba, the mafias are fighting Kasolo. I've survived the poison 5 times. They even fabricated a tape against me. What type of people are these? They are saying that Lumumba stole the money. Lumumba did not steal the money. What happened is that the president said, president allocated the money. And that's the problem. Lumumba, as a Secretary General, has been fought. They wanted to sell, protect, and they did not want Lumumba to be involved. Because when it comes to money, Fetulimbwa, Bobo Ko, Avajosa, Kavinja Kaba Fukabo, but Webers. Kana kali mu new face on kano ke bako bien. Passenger go from because my father is a poor man. Yes, because he doesn't steal money. I would have been a pauper If I don't come from a rich family, mwampaga sente meka mitwalo nkaaga. Mwene motoka ya mwetali mafuta. Mubbi. You ejected me, you took 5 billion. Mulise sasula. Mulise sasula basajja. Muja kusasula bulinzi mu. Muja kusasula bujozo. So I'm telling you, whenever there is money, they use a new vision and the red paper to malign. God has punished red paper, a newspaper that had the following of the people. When you read it, 6 pages, what is happening in the red paper?
Yes, I'm also wondering.
Yes.
They sell it expensively and print
People
less.
discovered the marriage. And that newspaper is only surviving on Haina. Yes.
They used to analyze serious political issues.
Anybody who raises a finger against me is punished severely. Tumweba's recently had to surrender his properties to my dad. Yamubba sente n'abasiba. Mwenda lost a job. Kagame sacked him because of me. He didn't know that I participated in the struggle in the RPF, and Kagame cannot side with the person of Mwenda's type. Mwenda lost a lucrative job in Rwanda, and Museveni does not give him the operational commission. His magazine was closed, followed it very much. That Tumweba's had directed to kill my magazine. That any advert,
the Yellow Times,
young weary, you man says we will pay. Tumweba's will pay. Tumweba's will pay. Kabushenga will pay. These people, Oyumuko will pay. I will never work with them again. I have no problem with these editors because some Kutesa, I had worked with them, some Kutesa, we just agreed on one principle. Passes. And he realized what I told him. Never knew. But to my job, to truly damn, but they could beg you to make was so much. I was sitting down. And I never work at this government. Where are they meeting? So, Lumumba's problem is that they have realized that Museveni is not likely to have a national team. They created a bogus national team. Why? Because that Muko wanted to create his own team. Yebuli kasera atunyagira mawu na create nko kiboga soga na akubya atana nkola kyanzite bamutti. Gwabuga nzite bamutti. Gwatomo manyiti abamawulire bonaleta wiki company nakola kira sasula gwanda ani ko naduka mbufeti mukole yali yakipanza era panze chikampuni kya madane na dano nani bakubane mbatta nakano kigenda what if when I refused publicly that I will never work with these people again, the so-called Museveni task force disappeared. The target was me. Mbakole them they can work with you again. That I work under their company. I have the brains. I've been maintaining these programs. We are remaining with a few days, not a mass, days. Election to be over. I will maintain my programs. I told
still continue
yes,
when they have run away.
I told you that there is no wise woman who engages in adultery with a man who has just come to attend a funeral or a wedding. Because if this woman, married woman, loses her marriage, the man has already gone back to Kampala. I cannot undermine the credibility of my programs to become a propaganda something
for a short time.
And two, even if you want money, these people are not giving you money. If you are serious, if the president wants my participation, why don't I get my money direct? Why do I have to work through somebody? If I'm capable of talking, am I not capable of paying for my programs? Then that means somebody wants to be a stooge, a staff of somebody, which I cannot do at this age of 50 years. I'm approaching the 60. A fool at 50 is a fool forever. So, in conclusion, Lumumba is facing problems. Why? Do you know that already people published an article alleging that Lumumba's bodyguard had sneaked into her tent at Yankwan's?
How does that affect her political career?
Right about me in Mukutu, anybody go Sanga Kuba. Because they're hired. Lumumba has stolen this. Lumumba has stolen this. Why? The president directed that these people who come to attend meetings are given 100,000 to go back. But when time comes, when it is dark, when they are supposed additional money should be given to them, this is what happened. These people were incited that Lumumba was retaining 50,000. That's not Lumumba. Lumumba was a nun. He was supposed to be a nun. Lumumba. I have differences with Lumumba. Lumumba came and saw my mother. Kadaga came and saw my mother. This Gondi, Avuganya Kadaga, Musum, came. But never J1, he often batula. Na ye, Musumba. My friend was siding on Mulabe Wang, Lankuta. Musumba is siding with this boy, Yomuko. I got to take our man to parliament. I never stood against Bananka. We fight them. I release a list on the eve of election. Many of them will be defeated. We shall expose you. You cannot control parliament to dominate the parliament with the puppets, because parliament is going to debate the COVID money. All of the money except the money that was used by the National Task Force is going to be audited. Because the Auditor General audits books after 6 months. By the time the new parliament comes, that's why they are fighting to dominate the parliament with their puppets. No! The moment you block a democratic process that brings the MPs who can put you on accountability, we shall use another alternative. People use another alternative.
So you're saying these allegations that Lumumba ate the money assigned to her.
That's not true. In fact, I wrote it.
But where is the money?
I wrote it. No, there is no money.
Museveni did not give out the money.
Museveni, what the president said, I was supposed to address those people. And the president had directed me and gave me money to reprint these books of mine that helped him in the previous election. Because they have not changed from what their arguments. They are retaining the same argument. So the president wrote to me officially and gave me money, some money, to reprint. I'm still having even these copies. When you see, this is a Uganda's Kapu. This is a Runyankole book.
The same but in different languages.
Because I've been selling election materials to the Election Commission. And the president directed to pay my outstanding debt over 600 million. I know somebody who is hiding it. So these people, when they knew that I was going to do a very good, crucial role, no, this time, if we want to use my services, pay directly.
To your personal account?
Yes, that's why I'm telling you. Intelligence manani. You try to mess up with my money, it'll kill you. Muziremere. Senti zange muziremere kwa account muzijja ko mulabe. Njagala ndabo yo sijja bawa ko ya de 10. I've sold my property 5 billion. Njagala muzikwate ko basajja. I've got a deal under Mirundi Media Consultants nga account yange ko batadde sente nedda muzikwate ko basajja mwe mu njaba wako kabuli ejjo okulamula. Release my money. Release my money. I don't want to go to the president. I don't want to go to Sabit. I don't want to go to Chibiramba. I will kill you. Njagala ndabazi kwatako mbomba weko sijja bawako yadde 10 nja kubatta busimu nja kuyingiza ko omuntu kabuli. This is my money. Ngeda ate muzibu. Ngeda temuzikwata kwa basajjamu. Kusaba intelligence ani. Suje yiso na managana.
Monetary intelligence.
There ya touch my money and I kill you. You will die in an accident within 3 hours. Release my money.
Not 3 days now.
I'm telling you, bazikwata ko bala baba sirwabo. Baba bia sente mwana bakubye nto kwata kamyo. You are stupid. Release my money. If anybody is interested in my money, I'm clear. I'm not a smuggler as I used to be. I'm not a criminal. I'm not what. Kakati nkubulira nti oyo Lumumba bamuwayiriza.
Bamuwagaza.
President yagambye.
Batagala kulya.
Bategedde nti Museveni ayizo obutateeka task force. Kati byagala bibbe. Lumumba afeewo byo bizibbe. Kyobola tuyinza kukola nammwe. Mwete tuyinza kuddamu kukola nammwe mwerimba. Titusobola. A person who can sacrifice castle at this time district bagitwale Museveni bamuwanguleyo. A person who can disorganize your secretary general at this time, a person who can
a few days to the election,
mu parliament bakwate kadaga. Are you human beings? Kyemvambaloga njabba bunyanyi teri kusonyiwagana nalweso musonyi mwenda ngenda musonyiwa naye abasigadde oyo mukone baneba batumwebaza abo abajozi nakana akani vision kan sinza basonyi
ze kigambo nga kinene
sobola basonyiwa
kyemvambaloga nga kigambo kinene
dirupe.
Are you serious?
Ejjogo lijja bagwera mu ddala okunja ogoyo tumwebaza oyo nalinga namutira wa sudiri bajja tuteese gwe wajaka kopero kulamuzanga bajja jakem bakubeka sajja kwa bentu eyo bajasi tumwebaze gwe nti nkusonyiwa nga nkusonyiwa ki ngojja kopero kulamwene bajjako kati nabaga nti mu biesente za covid what is happening now covid nabawandikira kataba ne baga these people are like a good baby monkeys when the baby monkeys see red frames of fire zozi zinabuzinyi koze kibera kikudde omubi nibaga abantu sente bazibbi have sent the money. COVID-19 is rampant kati nebagende wa president nti gwe tumwebaze sisobola wabwogo sisobola tumwebaze oyo gundi oyo akasajja ka new vision kulubya noyo gundi oyo kafufuluma. We shall never sit together nakalema never in life tetusobola kutuula wamu
nepo baliyo basonyi
tekisoboka nalweso mujjeeko mwenda mu reviewing okusinza gwewulira tepo yejayo
jamwetegereza
baje mukubyemu tumwebaze tekisoboka tumwebaze tekisoboka kunsi mukabuli ne muggulu alituna mukabuli ya munne yali celebrating victory sisonyiwa tumwebaze eyo kulupo sirigisonyo nonzija kuperekola mwene bwojjakeno bwateekakeno akanivision nakakabukedde kakulubye never alisuna mukabuli ya munne yali bawangudde. Therefore I know kakati final nabagamba nti bukedde ayina kyayinsinuating bukedde nakuba muzaati. Yesterday bukedde published a story that Museveni had donated the cars to the Kibuli faction and the Kibuli faction is where Muzata was a prominent playing a prominent role and Kalisa. What does it mean? It means to an intellectual like me, there was a power struggle. Some people, the Kalisas and the Muzatas, opposed Museveni coming into Kibuli. This is why Bobi Wine, I told you, Bobi Wine is never invited by the sex of Kibuli. Bobi Wine captures them. Bobi Wine bwategera nti Kibuli eriyo omukolo ng'akozesa ani Latifu Sebagala nga namwe bwe mumanyi ti gundi nga bwe mumanyi ti kakati omukulu waffe ajayogere. This is why Museveni bw'aba akola ebintu mu byofuzi batugamba nti omukulembeze kono byakola ddyo tabimanyi nalweso yagani nagende wabye mukenezi bayo sente nga Museveni directed me to solve a problem of land involving Bobi Wine and a widow yenga nalweso tekimanyi baba mujuziza nalweso musonyi naye tumwebaze ne mwenda ngenda kumulivyowinga okusinza ku byalaja tumwebaze ku nsi mukabuli ne muggulu nakalema ku nsi mukabuli ne muggulu omukoto ku nsi mukabuli ne muggulu munzite mulabe ne mago temuligisasula ejjogo eryo libali mutwe siri basonyi wako nakama ejjogo eryo limwakozesa okunkuba nakana akasajja ka new vision kwate engalabi y'ofulume payike nga yafuluma ne kulubya naye ejja kufuluma tewe buli eyagezaako okunfiiriza omulimu n'oguwe gujja kufa ne bizinesi ejja kufa oyo mukafiiriddwa sente meka yaleeta 2 million gundi testing kits ziruddawo Museveni yamuggalira mu nyumba namugala tuzi wakafiirwa sente meka mulenzi gwe ejjogerera lyakundegezaako gwe siri kusonyiwa oba munziti omukozi siri musonyiwa tumwebaze siri musonyiwa ebizimbe byonna baabitutte yabba ne babitwala kana akasajja kalemedde mu nyovision omulimu baagukugjeeko ogwange nga wagutwala teri yansonga
yewe bamugjeeko omulimu awalidde
nakalema asonga busonzi batekazonga katuweka ebajjula bakebajjula begwe nga bakulagira gwe ogoba abantu mu gavumenti interdicted them bateekebwa abalala mwe okuba nemba amalawo mwe sijja basonyiwa kategule yammwe endala nnyo sisobola
kategule yabwe yetasonyiika
kakati nga ati olaba muzaata we have known why there is controversies as how much Nalweso paid as what killed Muzata. Bukedde was building up a case. Bukedde was supporting a school of thought that was alleging that
Muzata died of COVID.
Karisa were poisoned. It was the first newspaper to tell us that Museveni had donated cars to the Chibuli faction. You know what it means? It means the Chibuli faction has also collapsed like a mango because the Catholic Church. I was praising Kakunguru. And he said Kakunguru was in charge of distribution. What does it mean? Kakunguru has lost his independence. 2, it is now clear that the Chibuli faction was using Bobi Wine to pressurize Museveni to give them vehicles. So therefore, today the argument is, can Bobi Wine go back to Chibuli and be accepted? Even if he goes back to Chibuli, Bobi Wine cannot go back to Chibuli because Chibuli has been exposed as another institution, opportunistic institution. Using
Bobi Wine's power to acquire
vehicles. Abo bafukati. Nabo begase ku mengo bafu. Nene kibinge naye mufukati.
Never food.
Yes. Why don't you reject it? Toiza kugamba nti Museveni mubi kati kikutegeeza. Bobi Wine was being used by a faction in Chibuli to sabotage Museveni's vehicles. Because you must understand, when you are going to buy 11 vehicles, you must make an order. Yes, you must make an order. Olabyeko showroom wano mu Uganda ine motoka 10.
Nalaba Toyota.
Yes.
Baina store.
Yes. Kitegeeza. Museveni donated these vehicles to the Islamic faith. Those who were opposed to taking the vehicles because of the selfish interest. Nti Muzata at one time yagamba nange bampo bwa advisor.
Ne mu advising.
Nange mu advising. Kakati kikutegeeza nti Bukedde stories abadde akuba, as I told you. Nti Bukedde is insinuating something that Muzata's death originated either from his family or from Chibuli. Kakati bali abasajja bagezi kirabika nalwesho yaguze motoka ezo type bwogule motoka 10 bakuwako emu bagamba za milioni 600 kati kitegeeza nalwesho yaguze motoka ezo yafunyeko kati bana ababbi abali bagala diru yemu bamukoze nga Lumumba bagala Museveni amukyawe nti sente ze yawadde mu ddwaliro milioni 108 kingi nnyo yazibye okitegeera
nti dirwe
nalwesho bamukubanga nani nga Lumumba nti Lumumba yabbye sente but the problem is
bwabanga yabadde mu diru yogole motoka
is different because Lumumba, the president knows how much money he gave Lumumba. If Museveni gave Lumumba tibuli muntu azze mumuwe emitwalo 15 nange nali wakusasulwa sente nga ngenda njogereramu bwe nalaba mbugakala bamfuge bampeye milioni 2 bamekate mulinda bako anybody who wants to use me must pay. I'm like a political musasule oyo mulesali nkoze Ssaako office ya national chairman teri nkoze Ssaako nange ku 60 years. How can you be able to articulate issues and then somebody pays for me jengenzo okwogerera? You are joking. I must have my money. If I go to a radio station at that when akaluka with you does Museveni need a task
a few days less than 30
tuwala bubazinako kakati kitegeeza namwe mwakola ensobi bano bakalisa bali balowooza tibajja kufuna sente za programs ne balowooza nti tibajja omukono namukyawa nnyo nimwe munyiro obunyirwa nga walinzirwa tumwebaza nimwe mpira tumwebaza nasalawo okukyawagana ne Sudiru lwatumwebaza tumwebaza yagambala ekivumbu ati nengenda nembazi nkakube nkansa omutwe tumwebaza siri kusonyiwa munsi muno siri kusonyiwa tumwebaza siri kusonyiwa nojjako programs eno nojjako naye nkukoze kajiji yampera musomero katutuke alitunula mukabuliyamu ne yali bawangu neti tuliddayo these old people bana aballa bano ba professor bano I don't have any problem for them. In fact it is revealed nti mbabazi ye yankuba tumwebaze tujja kutunka tolowooza yo en agreement mwe category ye yamwe teri agreement atunula mukabuliyamu ne yabawangu so abumba manyi tikakati ekibuli Bukedde awunzise ekintu kyayo ekibuli afunye emmotoka ate it is not mentioned oba ne Kampala mukadde Museveni yabawadde kati who is a winner? Museveni is a winner. It means you were hosting Bobi Wine
threaten Museveni
mumukanga abawe motoka yazibawadde kati munaddamu ne muhosinga Bobi Wine. So that's why for me nobody can use me. I'm a strategist. Nabagamba nti you wait. Bukedde is insinuating on something. Nti Bukedde addidde battle y'obulwadde agitadde mu family issues. What did the COVID have to do with the quarrels between Muzata and his wife? The quarrels continue even after Muzata's days. What if Bagabania Bagaga? What if the widow is saying that on the list of vehicles my husband had an allocation? Gwolowooza Museveni yali wadde ab'ekibuli emmotoka n'ataba Muzata n'ataba Enkulu
tekisoboka
kati ekikutegeeza ti kwalo yonna eriyo ne Kaliisa yali batafuna mmotoka manya Kaliisa naye yalifunye. There was no Museveni could buy vehicles. The most important people in Kibuli, Kaliisa was inclusive and Muzata was inclusive. How come that they are dead? That was what Bukedde was insinuating. And Bukedde, after completing the story, that the Kibuli faction has received the vehicles from Museveni, has closed topics about debating about Muzata. Two, because I said that the Kakungulu family plays a lot in Uganda's politics. All leaders who have taken the power in Uganda have gone through the hands of Kakungulu's home. Now, the donation of the vehicle has destroyed the Kakungulu's independence. He's now at the level of the Anglican Church, of the Mengo government. Was he really interested in change? Was he interested in Bobi Wine? Or he was using Bobi Wine as a leverage or a pressure to force Museveni to give him vehicles? And Museveni is a smart guy. If I was this man, the Kibuli faction, Kakungulu, I would have told the president, what these people will view it differently. We are having an election. If we want to donate vehicles to Kibuli, why don't you have it after the elections? Now that the Kibuli faction that have been welcoming Bobi Wine several times have received the vehicles, and if Bobi Wine is smart like me, you don't go back. Akazito kabwabe Kibuli kabalekeri. Kibuli has been destroyed. Kakungulu tachaddayo kubeera nga kitawe Kakungulu. Kakungulu naye agulibwa is corruptible. Amaze okufuna kyafunye. Yes. Amaze okufuna kyatadde mu nsawo. As Museveni donated the same vehicles to all religious groups, as he donated, as he only had that. Bishops, as he given the Catholic bishops 11 vehicles, as he given the Kampala card. Once it is reduced to you, you cannot deny it. Even if you say that Museveni had already promised us, he promised Kakungulu a Mercedes Benz, the late Kakungulu. When he died, Chigunda decided to abuse Museveni. What type of people who promised elderly people the better to Okiriza? But Kakungulu was an old man. It was going to be a special car, manufactured especially for the old man. This is what happened when Samuel, the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice Wambuzi, quarreled with Interwoba. Because Wambuzi was using an old vehicle. When he was an old man, Museveni designed, ordered a special design for the Chief Justice because he was an old man and was limping. When the vehicle came, this and the old one was assigned to the principal judge in Taboba. Taboba rejected it, said that you could have this one. No, it's not yours. This one was designed for the other limping man. For the limping man. So this is, I said maybe it was juju. This man feared to take the other one the Chief Justice was using, fearing juju because Africa, you take my vehicle, you drive my vehicle without my permission, and you steal it, and you see what happens on the road.
Are you serious?
Yes. So these are the issues that I promised my followers that I will be making briefs. Now you pray. Akatambi ako kakubi. Olabe lwaki nsonyiye na lweso. Otegere lwaki mwenda mu reviewing. Takyali ku list ya blacklisted.
Akatambi katugenda kateeka ku eno program.
Mwebaza ne nakalima tekiribeerawo. N'oyo omuvubuko. Be baako na ivenga bangobe. N'ateekawo n'omuntu. Tetuliddamu ku nsi mu kabali ne mu ggulu oba nzitanzita. Naye naye tajja kufuuka president. Buli wamu wonna mwabye anzita alabe bali mukuba ne bamutatta munne gwe batta ye yantakula katokubaga n'eppaka n'omulenzi oyo ajooga abantu anzita alabe ekiddirirawo ntwala gye bamutwalamu nenvunywali gisasula obujozi obwo bulimu yali atakola yali anumbira ki
tugenda kuteekako akatambi ku puroguramu eno mwebale nnyo okuwagira Apetite-Tamale emirundi tubasiibudde mweraba
yali antakola